Trapping is an American pastime, one of America's oldest traditions that helped drive Western expansion, an immutable characteristic of outdoorsmen across the nation, and one of the most effective methods of wildlife conservation on the planet. This video contains graphic images and may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Howdy folks, welcome back to Dominion Predator Controls Down the Line. On today's episode we're going to see a lot of coyote action and a little bit of nest predators too. Let's get to it. Well folks, this is check day 34. Check day 34, coyote number 24. And it's a good morning. It's a brisk, nice, cool morning in the low 20s. A lot of moisture in the air because they're expecting a bunch of snow tomorrow, and we're getting sprayed pretty good too. So there's a really hazy day, and I got about 16 sets in 3 different pastures that all have cows on them now. So I snapped off 6 of them yesterday after making a catch, and then I made a catch in here yesterday just down this 2-track about 300-400 yards. And I had come through and snapped off the other 8 sets that were in here and got to this last trap location and had this coyote sitting here waiting on us. So this is coyote number 24. Came down with G-Man coyote gland and some high lonesome I had in a hole. And I was using my lucky white rock. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can get him to move. I can pull it out of there. You want to move? Give him my rock back? No? He's laying on it. He's laying on it. Anyway, he's got shit all over the place for me, so I'm going to take some of that with me. It's a good present. I'd planned to keep all these traps snapped off until my day off so I could come in and pull them all out and start setting in some new spots. I had 52 traps out 2 nights ago, but now we're down to about 38 after this. So I have 38 traps left to check after we pull out of here, but we got 1 out of here before the cattle got to it and snapped it off, which is good. I noticed that the only sets that the cattle snapped off are the ones I didn't have urine on, or the ones that I did have urine on. So I've heard that before, that it's the salts in the urine that the cattle are after. And when you use urine at a set, the cattle go after the urine because they smell it, and they start licking all over whatever you have the urine on, and that's when they set your set off. So if you're running dirt hole sets in cattle pasture, you could probably get away with not catching any cow. Well, you're probably not going to catch any cows anyway, but you could probably get away with not having the cattle set them off in a lot of cases. Some people use tires or use different types of, blocking devices to keep the cattle out of the set, and it works. But I try not to mess with it because I like glandular sets, and I like to use a lot of urine and make them pee. And that's what I had in here. I had G-Man coyote gland, some of Wayne Derrick's urine, and that high lonesome that Cletus Richards sells. So this is a good dog to get out of here. We've been catching dogs inside the cattle. I'd probably do better if I trapped in the cattle than if I didn't, but either way, dog number 24 down on the 21st of December, and hopefully we'll have other dogs in sets, or at least a cat or 2 in the next day or 2, because we're going to get some real cold temps come down tomorrow. The lows are going to drop into the low single digits, 1 to 5 degrees, And we're looking at -20s of wind chill the next 2 days. We're supposed to get a small winter storm pass through this part of the state, but most of the country is supposed to get a pretty big winter storm tomorrow. And I'm gonna be out in it. We'll be trapping out in it regardless of the weather. If it's a real high wind and I got the day off, I might wait until the afternoon a little bit. But in all reality, we're gonna have traps on the ground. We're gonna have animals bouncing in traps, and we're gonna go get them. So I'll get this dog taken care of. I'm not gonna bother showing you the remake. I'm gonna get my lucky white rock out of there I've had for 6 seasons, and I'm gonna put it back in the truck and use it somewhere else later on. But don't underestimate being able to set food sets and dirt holes without gland lure and without urine in cows, because every single place I went that I had I think 4 dirt holes on this property whenever I snapped them off, and none of them were touched. The cows walked right past them. You can see hoof marks everywhere. But every gland lure set that they got close to, they got into and snapped it off before I got there. And if it were just big cows and they weren't nursing, then I'd probably keep traps around them. But since there's little ones with them, I'm running some 650s in this past year, and I think those 650s are big enough where a little one puts his hoof in there, he's gonna have a hard time getting out until he finally pulls. But you know, when it comes to the little 550s, I don't think there's a cow on the planet that's gonna get stuck in a 550. So that's important to know too whenever you're deciding what kind of traps you're going to buy and what you're going to use. It depends on what you're doing, you know. 550s are a really great all-around trap that you can use for everything, and you know, I like them a lot. I haven't used the Duke 550s yet, and I plan to, but the MB 550s I have. I think I have 5 dozen of them. I've been running them for 3 seasons, had them for 5 years, and they're excellent traps. And this 650 offset that I got from Duke, that trap's excellent too. I've caught more double front foot caughted animals in those traps I have anything else. So we're going to get on down the line. Me and Rahab the Red Ranger are going to keep moving and see what else we got today. We got 38 traps left to check after this. And I got a day off in a couple days. So we'll start setting some more sets. And we'll replace these ones that we got in here, get them pulled out of here, and move around as they're working the cattle and putting cattle in new pastures. I'll have other pastures open up that I need to trap. So we'll see you shortly. Yeah. Well, a little more trap line action today. Looks like I got this gyp. All the way in that 650. This is dog number 2 for the day. Check day number 34. Coyote number 25 for the season. And shoulders are rubbed real bad. Not sure if you can see those shoulders, but I'll take an image and put it on here so you can see it. But shoulders are rubbed out. Fur's no good, but the coyotes are still chasing calves and still trying to be around for fawn drop, so we want to make sure we do everything we can to stop that. But that's a Duke 650, and I had a trench set here that was a step down dirt hole originally, and I caught a little queen cat in it. And she was 22 pounds, 24 pounds, and I took her home and skinned her. She's drying out now, so I turned it into a trench set. I believe I showed you guys that. And that trench set's work, man. Those coyotes, you know, I'm not much for dirt holes, but if it's a dirt hole, it needs to be a trench set or a step down, because those coyotes, they want to get down in that hole to find out what's in there. And if the only spot you give them to get down in that hole has got a trap in it, they're going to be in that trap. So they really do work. This dog's kind of got a really skinny looking face, looks a little funny, but it's got some kind of cool color phase for Oklahoma. Really bushy tail. Their underfur is real thick, but those shoulders are totally rubbed out. This dog was caught on my Beaver Max. I believe it was Bob Jameson's bait solution I used with beaver meat that I rendered down real good. And it's aged about 3 years now since I made it, and it is killer. It's really good. And I mean, I wouldn't eat it obviously, but it's pretty good. And I had some Pecos in here, some Pecos Valley, and I put a little cat urine in it because I caught a cat in it, and it had the Pecos Valley because I was hoping to have another cat by double front foot in this trap, but we'll take this. This works. This is really what we're after right now is dogs. I'm going to really transition to cats here in about a week and a half, and then I'm going to run snares for dogs in January for nuisance work on this ranch. But we're going to clean up as many as we can. The goal was 100. We're at 25 right now, so we're a quarter of the way there, and we still got a lot of time. So I'm going to get this dog dispatched with my trusty death ray here, and I'm going to get this set remade into probably a step down. I'm not going to pull everything out and turn it into a trench, but it'll be a step down again at least at the very best. And we'll put the same stuff we had in it. We'll put that Beaver Max in there and some more Pecos, and we'll get on the move and move on down the line, because we've got 4 other traps in this pasture to check, and I've got 32 to check after these 2 right here. So we've already had 2 dogs this morning. It's been a good day, praise the Lord for it. So we're going to get on down the line, and I'll see you shortly. Alright, this is the 3rd or 4th time I've showed this set construction. This time it's going back into a step down dirt hole rather than a trench set, because of how bad that dog wallowed it out. Same process as normal. Peat moss, antifreeze. I'd already bedded this before I'd started this video, but I have to bring in dirt around the left side of it to kind of make sure that it doesn't have a jaw sticking up out of the ground right there because of the way it's been wallowed out. You can see me pushing on that jaw, trying to make sure that it's not going to move at all, readjusting the dirt, making a shelf right there. It looks like it's set up for more of a left foot catch than a right foot catch. Blend it in, local dirt, ready to go. Praise the Lord, look at that. Look how dark that coyote is. Well, folks, got us dog number 3 for the day. Dog number 3, coyote number 26. Coyote number 26. And check day 34. So we got a lot of scat laying around from this coyote. I'm going to use it to remake the set. I showed the original set construction of this, I believe, and I also showed one of the remakes I made here in the past. So I'm not going to record the remake, but I've got a 2-track here that runs all the way down to a pond down here, and then I've got multiple cattle trails that intersect right here. This is an old gate that had a fence row here, and the fence has been taken out a long time. As long as I've been around this property, there hasn't been any wire in here, but it's still got posts in it, and it's still got a couple of gates in it. And these gates, this random gate just out in the middle of nowhere, is a really, really good set location. We got some old pump jacks here that aren't operating right now, and we've got a dried up pond over there. It's just now starting to take water the last couple of rains. But then we got a pretty good pond down here, and I've got a couple more sets down there and a couple sets down there by that pond dam. And this set's caught 3 dogs in it since I started setting it. And it was destroyed. It looked basically just like it does now, completely tore up whenever he got in it. And I had a little guiding in it, so it was kind of interesting that I caught a coyote. I was kind of expecting maybe a cat or something, but you can see that dark color phase on that coyote right there, and the shoulders are rubbed pretty good. We can't skin these dogs. I've said that a time or two. I'll probably stop repeating myself at some point, but these dogs are no good for skinning, but it's good to get them out of here to save the fawns and the calves, and just for fun too. I just love trapping coyotes. I don't know about you guys, but the point of this show is to really kind of help people see what I got going on the line, but also to teach people that don't really know, you know, kind of what to look for and how to make sets and what sets work best. And, you know, in Oklahoma, things are different than they are in other places. You know, people in Pennsylvania or people up in New Mexico, they're going to trap differently. They've got different dirt, they've got different, you know, climate, they've got, you know, different layout in the land and different type of structures. And around here, the best way to trap is in the cattle pastures. And trapping in cattle pastures, I try to stay out of the cattle when I do it. I try not to be inside the cattle when I do it. I just want to be in the pastures next to them. This isn't like trapping feedlots up in Kansas where you're going to catch 100, 200, 300 dogs in a season or even a short time. But here you can still catch pretty good dogs, and my number is 20 or 100 for the year, but I'm only at 26. So I'm hoping to pull out 100 off these the 6,500 acres and the neighboring properties during that time. But dog number 26 fell to Tainted Love. Andy Weiser's Tainted Love, a little bit of Wayne Derrick's urine, and I think I added a little bit of Pecos in it. I've been running Pecos the last week and a half just to kind of get the dogs interested. I like a good call lure, and Pecos works real good for calling dogs, but it's real good for making cats rub. So it works for both. You can catch cats on coyote gland, no problem. It's not as easy to catch coyotes on cat gland, but it can happen. You got a good chance, but it's not 100%. You know, they're gonna roll most of the time, and if they roll, then sometimes they'll flip that trap off and get spooked and take off, and it's gone, and you just got an empty trap sitting there with a little coyote back fur in it. So I don't like using cat gland whenever on coyote sets. I try to only use it on cat specific sets. But here's this dog, good dog to take out, good looking dog, and we're gonna check the rest of these traps, maybe add a few more today. We got a bunch snapped off, and we'll have to pull those and reset in different spots. But as they're working the cattle and moving them around, we're gonna have a lot more places to trap. So until then, me and Rahab the Red Ranger are gonna move on down the line, and I'll see you again. All right, folks. Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about some lure that I use a lot, and that'd be Wayne Derrick's Predator products. I can't tell you how many times I've slapped some of his lure on a set and had a coyote the next day or the day after. And the stuff that I use, his gland lures that I use for cats, really work really good too. I use a lot of his one leg up, which is something that you use to freshen up sets whenever it comes to, or you can just use it as urine, but I'm pretty sure it's a urine base that's got gland lure in it. And then his food lure here that I got, it's a curiosity lure as well. It's a 1080, and that's something that a lot of folks like to use. Apparently it works really well in a lot of places. Here I do a lot of good with it on T-bones and on dirt holes. Then I've got the G-Man Coyote Gland. You've seen earlier on in this season, I've caught a whole lot of cats and coyotes on this gland lure right here. And a lot of times the cats are highly attracted to this in early season because I use it pretty often. But his G-Man Coyote Gland is one of the best coyote glands you can get out there. When it comes to his Super Cat, this is his cat gland lure. And this is probably my favorite cat gland lure that exists. I haven't used some of the other ones that are real popular right now. I've used stuff from Wayne. I've used stuff from Cletus. I've used stuff from Andy. I've used stuff from Cavins. I've used a handful of different lures, maybe 5 or 6 different cat gland lures. And I made my own cat gland lure called Alpha Kitty that I'm working on right now, trying to get worked up to a final recipe. But this stuff right here is a go-to lure. This Super Cat Gland lure is excellent. It works all the time. And it works on just about anything, but it really has got a high catch percentage on cats, and it slays the dogs, especially in late season. And then you've got his Pecos Valley, which is the most popular lure he has, I believe. Just about anybody who knows how to trap uses it. Just about everyone who cat traps uses it. It's one of the absolute best caster-based cat calls that you can get on the market. And if you're looking to have some kind of lure in your tackle box, or your toolbox, or your tool bag that's going to help you catch a lot of critters, Derrick's Predator products is the way to go. Let's get back to it. So, I'm not sure how the audio is going to work out. I'm trying to talk as loud as I can, I guess, without screaming at you. But this is dog number 27 on check day number 36. And we had a big freeze come through. You can see a little bit of snow on the ground, but really it's just really cold and windy. And we didn't get a whole lot of snow, but this set still worked. And I had antifreeze in these sets. I put more antifreeze on the sets that I'm driving by that haven't been snapped off, and I've had some I've had some misses. Whether it's because of the cold or because of the wind coming out of the north, and the changed wind direction kind of messed up some of the way that an animal, approaches a set. But this coyote here is cold. We're going to take it home and dry it out. So we're going to take care of this set. I mean, I won't be skinning this coyote, as you can see. See that back fur on the back side of that coyote is all completely gone. I mean, their shoulders are totally rubbed out this time of the year. They're not going to do any good. But we're going to make sure this coyote doesn't suffer much longer. So with all the coyotes out there attacking cattle, it's good that we take them all out as much as we can. Hell, if we thought we took them all out the next year, there'd be a whole lot more left. So me and Rahab are going to keep moving down the line. We've only done 8 traps out of 38 that we got working. And I'm pretty sure they're all working anyway. This one was working yesterday, and it was just as cold the night before as it is today. So we'll get this taken care of, and we'll get back at you. Well, folks, got us a another coyote here. I think it's a gyp. Give me presents. Usually the gyps are really frightened like this and just kind of hunker down. But this is coyote number 28. Check day number 38. We've had snow and freezing temperatures, and I'm sure all of you have had the same thing, or most of you have. So we had a lot of sets to rework over the last couple of days, and had to wait for the ground to thaw a little bit to be able to put a few of the sets back in. But last night I had all 36 sets in that I had working 3 days ago. And we didn't catch a coyote for a couple days. Caught a couple of possums. But this coyote here, dog number 28, fell to a dirt hole that had caught 2 possums, a coon, and a bobcat in. The very first catch I had on this property was a bobcat in this set. And I just pulled a coon out of it 2 nights ago, and it was frozen on the ground overnight the night afterwards, and then yesterday I was able to reset it. So yesterday when I came in, I didn't add any more food to it, but I did add some cat gland, some of Wayne Derrick's super cat gland, and some urine, some cat urine, on top of all the other smells over there. And it had Pecos in it, so I put a little more Pecos in it. And I kind of had it set up in such a way to where it was blocked down a little bit more for cats and less for coyotes. And I'd been saying that I thought a lot of the times that the cat glands will make your coyotes roll, and I know some of them will, but I think it's more the ingredients in some of the gland lures than it is the glands themselves, because I've got a couple of gland lures that I use, and we got all this snow, and I learned a lot in the snow. I had 10 misses that I know of the night that I had the snow, and I'll put up pictures of it to show you some of the paw prints. But most of the traps that I had misses were refusals. I think 6 of the 10 were refusals. 3 of the 10 were sets that were worked from the wrong direction because the wind had changed with the cold weather. And the last one was a set that didn't go off because the coyote just didn't step on the pan. Coyote was in every little spot, and it was a cat set. Actually half of them were cat sets, if not more. And they were the ones that were really heavily worked from the other side. They were cat sets. And I figured with the wind coming out of the north that this dog would have had to try to get in that set across the 2-track there, but he didn't. He got in this one. I guess the wind was just calm enough for him to work this set from the right side. But I had a lot of blocking in there too, so that probably had something to do with it. There was no way he was going to get in there without some of that, that blocking being in his way, so he had to come at it from that one direction. So even a set up with the wrong wind direction and the right lure inside of it's going to catch a coyotes. And that's good because we're here to catch coyotes, but I'm kind of transitioning to cats as we go. And I'm finding out that my cat gland lures, 2 of the cat gland lures I have, are really working on coyotes very well. So don't underestimate it. Trapping's a learning experience. You're never going to get it right the first time, and you're always learning something new. And there's always people coming up with new ways to get paws on pans. And apparently this Wayne Derrick Super Cat is really good for coyotes and cats. So use it. Give them a call. Get you some lure. But this dog number 28, we were hoping for some cats today with as cold as it was, but that didn't happen. So we got dog number 28 on check day 38, and we're gonna keep on trucking. In order to hit 50, it might take me another month if I keep dirt trapping the way I am. So we're gonna transition a nuisance on dogs soon and just dirt trap cats and get in the water and try and get some beaver. All right, folks, I wanted to show you this remake. The way I'm constructing this set now is pretty much how I constructed it when I caught this coyote. It seems like this season I caught a handful of coyotes that were in block down sets that were made for cats. But this was originally a step down dirt hole. Then I brought that wood in for backing, I don't know, the first or second catch. And then after the third or fourth catch that was in here, 1 or 2 coyotes, a possum or 2, and a cat, I eventually kind of necked it down for cats only. Same process as normal. Getting everything bedded in there real good, putting in the peat moss, bringing in the antifreeze, doing a layer of dirt I bring in, which is still local dirt but dry. Then another layer of antifreeze after I pat it down a little bit. And some local dirt to cover it up. You'll see here the blocking that goes in once we get it blended in real nice. And the coyote jumped in a set that was almost just like that. Punch a hole, ready to go. Well, looks like Coon plugging up my coyote set. We got this little guy in here, little sow in here, and this is a coyote set I had set up with some G-Man coyote gland and some Pecos Valley, kind of set for a scent post or rub post if a cat comes by. The cats really like that G-Man coyote gland. I've caught 3 or 4 of the cats I caught this year on that gland, coyote gland lure. And coons are plugging up sets. It warmed up a little bit last night. It's going to get cold again tonight, but then it's going to warm up for about a week. So I'll expect to see a lot of coons over the next little while. A little bit of moisture coming down. We weren't expecting any rain today, but it's starting to rain a little bit. It's starting to sprinkle. So it might get wet on us for a few. Looks like some dark clouds in behind us there. But these coons are plugging up my set. He's in a Duke 550, not a Duke 550, MB 550 offset. And I don't own the Dukes yet, the 550s. I got the 650s, but I like those, but I haven't used the 550 yet. I'll do that next. But this coon here is a good one to take out. Active, kind of aggressive toward me when I pulled up at first. So you know, the second they get near any of the nest around here, we got quail that are starting to come back, and I haven't seen many turkey. I think I've seen 2 turkey on this property in the whole year. So I know there's some around, but there's not a whole lot around. And the more of these nest predators we take out, the better off that turkey population is going to get. The quail population is a good sign that the turkey population will get better. So we're going to go ahead and take this coon out. I never let a coon walk free. They're open year round around here now, and you can take as many as you want because they become such a nuisance, kind of like coyotes were. And of course they're not as much of a nuisance as the hogs are, but I don't have hogs right here on this spot. There are hogs pretty close, 5-10 miles in either direction you'll find hogs, but not here. So we'll get rid of this nest predator and we'll keep on moving down the line. Well, look at what we got here. I got this coyote here in this trap, and you can see he brought some food with him. He had something in his mouth, or something he chose to throw up after he got caught. Doesn't look like throw up though. Looks like some of that gut pile. I dumped the gut pile of a couple deer not too far from here, and it looks like he made it to that gut pile before he came by here. And had some of that gut pile with him. Whether he threw it up or not, I'm not sure, but you can see. No, there's some hair in there, so looks like he might have thrown it up, but he had food with him. He had a full belly, and he chose to stop by my set and get caught anyway. And I didn't have, it's not a food set. This was a flat set with a rock backing on it that had Wayne Derrick Super Cat in it. And what else did it have? It had Wayne Derrick Super Cat, and had Andy Weiser's Super Cat, which is a rub lure for lions and cats that has skunk in it. It's real skunky. And I just put a little touch of it on there and a little bit of it under the rock. You see, you flip the rock over. But we caught this dog on cat gland lure after it had a full belly. So if you're trying to use food sets, dirt holes to catch dogs right now, you can do it. But as they start moving into heat and start trying to chase each other around, good pup. As soon as they start chasing each other around, they don't really think about food so much anymore, even though they'll eat. But even a full coyote will come by and hit these cat sets. And I had said previously that I thought a lot of these cat glands make the dogs roll. But apparently the 2 cat glands I use the most, as opposed to a couple other ones, they don't make the dogs roll at all. They get caught. That's a full front right pad catch. Let's see if we can get him to move. That's a full front right pad catch there, which is how I set my traps up, offset to the right just a little bit. And that coyote fully committed to that cat gland lure and that super cat, skunky super cat that was on there. And even though he had a full belly, he's in a trap. So now we're taking this fawn killer out, and there won't be any more of that happening from this guy. So this is coyote number 29. Coyote number 29 on check day 40. It's about 12, 14 degrees outside right now, and we had really low wind. So this is my first pasture I checked. I had 10 traps in here, and this was the last of the 10. I got 3 other ones right here close, and then some up here around the dam and on down the fence line down there by a gate. But this is a really beautiful place to set. We got this real low draw in here that turns into a creek that used to be dammed up real bad by beaver, and I came in here in the spring and pulled a lot of beaver out of here. I think I pulled 17, 18 beaver off this pond that's back here behind us. So we're definitely going to get busy on the coyotes in this pasture soon. The hunters got it pinned up until January 15th, but after that, I'm going to get in there, and that 320 that's over there that's totally untouched right now, I'm going to start slaying them. Coyotes and cats. So it's just a matter of time. But this big dog fell to cat gland lure and cat urine while it had a full belly. And that's a good takeaway from this set here. Don't underestimate your cat gland lures whenever you're using them for dogs, because it works. What do you think? You got something to say? Yeah, well, it is what it is. Me and Rahab the Red Ranger will get this dog taken care of and get this set remade. I'll show you guys what the remake looks like, and we'll get moving on down the road. Here's that finished remake. Catching coyotes with a cat gland lure late in December. And pretty simple flat set with a rock backing and a hole down in there to hold the lure. I got Wayne Derrick Super Cat, which is a cat gland lure, in the hole. I got Andy Weiser's Super Cat, which is a cat rub lure that's skunky. Just a touch of it on top of the rock, and the rest of it is on a stick underneath the rock. A little bit of Pecos Valley on that rock there, and then some cat urine. And that's a deadly set. You want to pull your coyotes out, that's one way of doing it. Well, folks, looks like we got dog number 30 today. This is a trench set I had, but this is a good catch. Dog number 30, 2 for the day so far. Still got 4 traps left to check on this ranch. Had a trap right here across the 2-track. Had 1 trap, a step down dirt hole that I had over there. well, it was flipped off, but I'm pretty sure it was deer because there was a hoof print in the trap right across the 2-track from it. So I'm pretty sure deer were in there stomping around. But we got this big dog. This is check day 40. And we had dog number 29 just about an hour ago. And now dog number 30. And this dog fell to some of my homemade beaver bait and a little dab of Pecos Valley. I've caught 3 possums, 1 coon, and a cat and 2 coyotes in this trap. So that's probably one of the dirtiest traps I got right there. And that coyote didn't care. That coyote stuck his whole front right paw in there, just how I like it. I like to offset just a little bit to the right, and I want every catch to be a front right paw. And most of the coyotes I caught this year have all been front right paws. I tend to miss, if I don't offset, I tend to miss with the front right paw the most, is what I've noticed. I'll have a paw print right next to where the pan was, or right on the lever, or right on the jaw, and in a set with no catch that got worked, and it's always that front right paw. So that's it's not, obviously coyotes are going to be different and they're going to work sets in different ways, but when it comes down to it, I've noticed that most of my misses come with the front right paw that was as close to the pan as it could be, but it wasn't on it. So once I started offsetting a little bit and really kind of working sets the same way all the time, whenever it came to setting in traps that close to my scent or lure or dirt hole or whatever I'm using, I started picking up a lot more dogs. So it works better that way. This coyote's not too active. I noticed when I was pulling up, I saw a big black spot over here from the distance in the silhouette, but I didn't see a dog bouncing. Usually they like to bounce on you, but this one must have been a little cold. It's about 16, 17 degrees out here now. It's starting to warm up. It'll be in the 30s in the next couple hours. But we're gonna get this dog taken care of with my trusty little death ray. Keep the blood out of the set, and get this set back in the ground, and we'll keep on trucking down the line. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time on Down the Line, and until then, Dominion out.